Yeah, folks. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh god. I think this is take 4, take 5. Not sure. Fuck. So what are we talking about? Welcome back to Kenshi. I hope you're not minding. I hope you're enjoying these odd post commentaries that I've been doing. It's kind of hell for me to try and do post commentary on this. I just feel so disassociated from what's going on screen. Because so often it's just like looking back on this footage, it's just what was I even thinking here? Here I was checking out, I noticed a random fight going on and I was just checking it out, but other times it's just like, it's just, I don't know, I just feel like a cave person watching footage of a spaceman, you know? I feel like completely no frame of reference for what's going on. Or just very much disassociated from it. So yeah, it's kind of a bitch to try and do post commentary here. So I hope you don't mind how odd this has been. Don't worry, next episode will be back to normal, as far as I remember. I seem to have fixed it without even realizing there had been a problem. So that's handy. Woo me. So as for why there has been multiple re-record attempts, I'll try and keep this as detail-less as possible to prevent this turning into yet another failed attempt. I don't know why, I'm just feeling very insecure about trying to make this point. I'm waiting for someone to spaz out about it. Or should I just stop caring? I think stop caring sounds great. So, I think a particular person came across my Twitter account, Twitter timeline recently, a post about them, and it reminded me of like, yeah, don't meet your heroes, or well, the person wasn't my hero. Don't meet someone you're a fan of. Just don't. Or follow them on Twitter. Don't. Don't do that because it can be one thing to try and separate the artist from the art. So many of them have glass jaws, though. One of them was known for his acerbic wit, I feel. That's the phrase I want to use. He was often very sarcastic. I was mildly sarcastic at him because he tried to dismiss someone for having an anime avatar. I was like, you sure showed him. And he blocked me for it. So, yeah. It's a little different to try and separate the artist from the art when it comes to that. It's a little different to try and separate the artist there. So, yeah. And part of the reason why I've, like, this alone wouldn't be causing the re-records, but it's the secondary thing. I gave more detail. One of the people I was talking about is dead, and a lot of people have issues criticizing the dead, and other people may think I'm only saying this because he's dead and can't defend himself. Firstly, I don't believe in sparing the feelings of the dead. If someone said something stupid, did something wrong, they said something stupid, did something wrong, whatever the case may be, they still did it. Them being dead doesn't suddenly mean the action no longer exists. It no longer existed. You know, it still happened. That's still the case. Pretending otherwise is infantile. And no, I'm not just criticizing because he's dead. I've actually talked about these in videos before, which is part of the reason why causes me feeling awkward about talking about it, because I've actually named him before in vids and on my Twitter account. You know, I made no bones about my issues previously. I just feel awkward about it right now. I know. I'm a fickle person, what can I say? I just feel awkward about it now, so I've difficulty saying it, but I have said it previously and while he was alive. So I'm not just taking advantage of his passing. It just, I criticized it when I was alive. When I was alive, yes, that too. I criticized him when he was alive. I'm just bringing it up again because, oh yeah, that guy, and his stupid fucking remark. God, that annoys me. Yeah. That's all it is. It's just he came across my timeline. I remembered he existed, and then I remembered the stupid thing, and it's like an itch on my brain, you know? So it's not me taking advantage of his passing, it's me excising an itch that I've talked about previously while he was alive. So... So, yeah, this is why I've done so many re-records and re-records. Because I feel awkward talking about it, but I want to. But nothing feels right, if you get me. So... You're probably curious what it is. There's a third thing as to why I'm nervous in saying it. Because it's been so many years since I saw the video in question. The like really stupid thing that annoyed me. It's been so many years, part of me can't help but be paranoid that what if I'm wrong? Because there'll be egg in my face, and especially with his passing, people will be extra angry at me being wrong there. But I feel. But as far as I remember, this is the case. It kind of stuck with me because of how stupid it was. Basically, the person did reviews of games, and they covered one game, and a person commented, it was a stream, a person commented in the stream that they felt that a particular race introduced in that game, as a series of games, didn't fit the series as a whole. It was out of sync with it. The reviewer was of the opinion that person was a deranged lunatic that called them bomb threats. Because apparently that series had been hit with those deranged lunatics calling them bomb threats before. They felt that some faction or race didn't fit the game, and they called them bomb threats to make their feelings known. So clearly this other person must be one of them. Effectively arguing that that game series and that dev team were beyond question when it came to adding stuff to the setting. When I talked about it before, I made a joke saying they could add a faction centered all around dildos and dildo weaponry, and the person would have to argue that it fits perfectly. To argue otherwise is to admit that he calls in bomb threats. Isn't that fucking retarded? Maybe he didn't mean it in such an extreme way, but he basically accused someone of being a deranged lunatic calling in bomb threats over game development. There's no real place for moderation here. The guy went completely off the wall and deranged in his defense of the game. So there's no real place for moderation in, like, oh, he didn't mean, that far. One was an aga, another's a dildo race. He threw that defense out the window by going straight to calling the person a deranged bomber. Straight out the fucking window. So, when it comes to meeting your creator, sometimes, don't meet your creator, don't follow them on Twitter, and oftentimes sometimes don't actually look at, some of the stuff they create. It's kind of productive, but yeah, you may lose whatever respect you had for them. I know I did. So, yeah, because that's a really stupid remark, especially for someone in his field. Yes, I critique things for a living, but I believe these people are beyond critique. You can't say shit against them, or you call in bomb threats. How the fuck does that work? It's stupid. It's stupid. I don't care if he's dead. It was stupid when he was alive, too. I said as much back then. I said it to anyone who damn well listened to it. Forgot he existed. So yeah, that's what's been killing these sessions. And the very first one ended up running over. The next few reach about halfway, maybe a little over in one case. But yeah, that's what's been killing these. So, yeah. At least that's over with now. I'm a little bored here, so I'm trying to like juggle tissue. It'd be fun trying to work on your coordination. Though I probably should pick something with a bit more weight than this. So, I hope you guys are doing well. As I don't know if I said it before in this session, all these are kind of boring together. But, the normal recordings will be back next set. Like normal commentary. I think I fixed the issue without even realizing it was an issue. That, or I realized it was an issue, but maybe didn't realize the length of breath. Not sure. Haven't a clue. I haven't a blurry. I think I've been doing this for like 40 minutes now. That's how long I've talked for, and then had to junk. I die inside. I'm good just going with this. I'm not entirely happy with some of the recordings I've made for this post commentary, but it's just I've reached a point where this has been hell to do. Trying to re-record 5 hours, nearly 6 hours of footage. I don't know how much it is right now. Stuff is spaced out on the time bar, so I don't have an exact figure. I could get it if I looked for it, but that sounds like work. But yeah, having to re-record like 6 hours, a bit under 6 hours, over 5.5, under 6 hours of footage. Or was it 5 hours 20 something? Whatever. Over 5 hours 20, under 6 hours of footage. While being like disconnected from it, not feeling, feeling estranged from it. When I was doing Cyberpunk, I had past me to bounce off of. The reason I couldn't use the original audio was because I was going by my headset mic rather than my desk mic. Headset mic was pointed up too, so it was really quiet. Yeah, and if I raised the volume, you just heard whoosh, whoosh, whoosh in the background, static, or the PC fan or something. So it sounded like trash. And when I was looking at that footage, I could tell clearly what was going on at any moment. There's the objective marker on the screen. It was clear what was going on, and it passed me to guide me. Here, there's nothing. Maybe nothing's a bit much, but here's not great. I can't remember where it's going with this, but yeah, next set is back to normal. I hope you've been fine with how this has been, even as weird as it has been. Completely lost my train of thought, but I don't want to go deal with that because that's add an extra layer of work to this. Oh yes, I remember now. I was saying that I'm not happy with some of the earlier sessions, but I'm not going to go back and redo them because of how much damn work this has been. I've been disassociated from the material and I've been trying to re-record. And it's just, there's nothing for me to commentate or bounce off of. Oftentimes I've no real idea what past me was doing or thinking. It's been over 2 years since I recorded this footage. And there's no like me audio to bounce off of. There's no text. There's no nothing. So I kind of feel right now you get what you get. Right now I'm mainly thinking about that teacher bit. I was saying how much of an asshole that guy was, and I let my contempt for him known. Let's put it that way. God, that guy was an asshole. Like, seriously. Dude had his problems. I wish he worked him out elsewhere and not, on us. But, well, if he did that, he wouldn't be a teacher. There's a saying about bad boys become cops, bad girls become nurses. I've heard a few horror stories about nurses. Like everyone's heard police abuse stories, police brutality stories, but then there's also like nurse stories. I remember seeing one in the Nature thing, Nature medical journal. They were talking about nurses eating their young or eating their own. They some nurse was new and she got on the wrong side of the older nurses, so they assigned her multiple full-time patients and then sat and watched her TV shows. This is over in America. They were perfectly content to have her running around the whole time taking care of 24-hour patients by herself, multiple of them. They were fine with letting patients die to get back at her. Another case, I'm not sure if it's the same nurse or a different one. Her patient was coding, she needed assistance, but none came. She was able to get the patient well again, like she was able to save their life by herself, but she got lucky. They were content again to let that patient die for the sake of their grudge. There's another case, I think, from the same nurse, where they buried a dirty needle in her clothes, and if she hadn't opened the clothes in just the right way unwittingly, she would have been infected. The administration wouldn't do anything because they'll be throwing out 4 nurses for one. But honestly, there are 4 nurses trying to kill their own kill patients in the facility and kill other employees. That sounds like a no-brainer. But maybe it's just, one word, her word against theirs if there wasn't enough evidence going around. So, it didn't really help that the journal ended on the note of, yes, it's these women murdering each other, but who's to blame? Men. It's men clearly creating the environment that made these women trying to kill each other. Yes. I'm sorry, it's hard to take it seriously when you pass the entire buck of these women trying to murder each other of their own volition onto someone else. It's kind of hard to take the whole thing seriously. Yes, women are men's equals. Therefore, they can take responsibility for their actions. I'm not so much a misogynist to believe that they're incapable of that, unlike the person writing that entry in Nature. Like Florence Nightingale, it doesn't even hate women that much. And, there's an upcoming, in Monster Hunter Rise, I read out a thing from Florence Nightingale. And then in, it was a RimWorld thing I did as well, but I may cut it out, I may not. Let me look it up here. Come. That's a bitch and a half to try and find it. Because I can't remember quite the phrasing I used before. I remember the site it was on, but I don't remember how I found it. But yeah, Florence Nightingale had an issue with women. Uh, does this one work? Does this one work? She wrote a letter to someone before, and she was like, I've read your book half through, and I've quite enjoyed it, but I don't quite understand something. Not the characters, but the conclusions. You're right that women are more sympathetic than men. From my experience, women have no sympathy. Yours is the tradition. Mine is the conviction of experience. Or something to this effect, that if she was to write her own book, she would say women had no sympathy. And she goes on to say how she lists three different guys. One was a poet born, another was a 50-year-old dude in politics half his life, and another, I don't know anything that she did, the thing wasn't listed about him. But all of these guys had very particular life paths and career choices, but out of sympathy for her, what she does changed. Two of them became uh, directors of her like medical institutes. One was a politician, and so sitting on her sofa learned nursing administration, so he could write like guidelines, like legal guidelines for it. Not, and she didn't like. Nursing administration's a boring thing. It's a painful, boring thing, even to her. But she learned it through stirring experience. He learned it sitting by her sofa, with talking with her. Meanwhile, she's apparently had very intimate relationships with women, and none changed her life at all for her, or out of sympathy for her. Well, numerous men had. One person claimed she was like a man, and she agreed with them. But how? In having sympathy. And there's a quote here, it's on Wiki Quote. Women crave for being loved, not for loving. They scream out at you for sympathy all day long. They're incapable of giving any in return, for they cannot state a fact accurately to another, nor can that other woman attend to it accurately enough for it to become information. Now, is not all this the result of the want of sympathy? I am sick with indignation at what wives and mothers will do of the most shocking selfishness. And people call it all maternal or congenial affection, and think it pretty to say so. No, no. Let each person tell the truth from their own experience. Like, if there was a grand master misogynist, it's Nightingale. Like, seriously, I read the full letter out, well, a fair portion of the letter out before. It was a bit paraphrased in the thing I was trying to find. It felt like a fucking haymaker. You go in thinking, oh, Florence Nightingale, cool, reading thing. And she punches you through the fucking screen. Apparently, there is actually a letter of her threatening to bite someone. She was, bragging about her teeth, that she had, her dentist had complimented her on the strength of her teeth. Maybe... Please don't just start a video. Please don't start a video. Please have a search bar. You don't have a search bar. I think this is it, but sadly it's a blog. I think this is one of the tags for it, but there's a lot within that tag. Fuck. Where the hell is it? How's the video going? It's still going, still time left. Jesus Christ. I cannot find this thing for the life of me. Like, there's just this one friggin' post. Maybe if I go to Google rather than Bing. It just, when I'm doing a video, I always use Microsoft Edge and it goes to Google, goes to Bing, so I just go along with it. I don't open Firefox or Brave, cause videos could start playing. Found it. Should have come here earlier. I've read your book Half True, and I'm immensely charmed by it, but some things I disagree with it more I do not understand. This does not apply to the characters, but to conclusions. E.g., you say women are more sympathetic than men. Now, if I were to write a book out of my experience, I should begin. Women have no sympathy. Yours is through tradition, mine is the conviction of experience. Now look at my experience of men. A statesman past middle age, absorbed in politics for a quarter of a century, out of sympathy with me, remodels his whole life and policy, learns a science that derives the most technical, the most difficult, that of administration, as far as it concerns the lives of men, not as I learned it in the field of from stirring experience, but by writing dry regulations in a London room by my sofa with me. This is what I call real sympathy. Another, Alexander, whom I made Director General, does very nearly the same thing. He is dead too. Cloud, a poet born if there ever was one, takes nursing administration in the same way for me. I only mention these three whose whole lives are remodeled by sympathy for me, but could mention very many others. ... I never found one woman who altered her life by one iota for me or my opinions. Now just look at the degree in which women have sympathy, as far as my experience is concerned. And my experience of women is almost as large as Europe, and it is so intimate too. I have lived and slept in the same bed with English countesses and Prussian Buchanan. I don't know how to say it. Borin. Bauerinen. No other woman has ever had charge of women of the different creeds that I have had. No woman has excited passions among women more than I have. Yet I leave no school behind me. My doctrines have taken no hold among women, and I attribute ... and I've attributed this to want of sympathy. It makes me mad. The women's rights talk about the want of a field for them, when I know I've got to give £500 a year for a woman's secretary, and 2 English lady superintendents told me the same. And we can't get one. ... They don't know the names of the cabinet ministers. They don't know the officers of the horse guards. ... Now I'm sure I did not know these things. When I came to Crimea, I did not know a colonel from a corporal. But there are such things as armies and almanacs. I could never find a woman who had sympathy. Who console one for my work. I believe I am like a man, as Pratt says. But how? In having sympathy. And here's what we read before. I can't remember if there's long enough to do so. And yeah, let each person tell the truth from his own experience. So there's even more to that. It's actually funny, someone posted an extended version of that the other day, and someone else in the comments tried to defend women, saying that women of the time weren't allowed emotionally mature. I can almost feel Florence Nightingale, tearing her way out of the coffin to slap them. Now, I don't approve of violence for, over words, at least non-threats. But at the lengths people go to defend stupidity, I can't take issue if zombie Florence Nightingale decided to do that. So, and we're nearly done the video. But yeah, if I, Grandmaster Misogynist there, Florence Nightingale. She really did seem to have a chip on her shoulder about it all. She does seem, though, like she'll be an interesting person to talk to. She's very different from the perspective I've had growing up of her. And probably the perspective that a lot of people have had of her. Like, I doubt many people knew, well, with the little you hear about her nursing work, her care, you expect probably maybe a maternal figure or a very caring individual. And I think she probably is a very caring individual. She just, I know he's going by that letter as very school mistress kind of vibe to her, Well, I suppose putting it like that, I'm not sure I'll get along with her too well, but she does seem like an interesting person. Video's over. She does seem like an interesting person and someone well worth talking. It will be good to have a chat with her, kind of thing. On a similar note, I do wonder what you would think of her depiction in Fate. I brought this up before in Cyberpunk. I think actually in the bit I was re-recording. Maybe not. But it's always a puzzlement to me, like how someone from history would feel about their depiction in Fate. Like, Julius Caesar probably wouldn't approve of his depiction as this enormous fat guy. But what would Florence Nightingale think of her depiction as pink-haired girl wearing military uniform? And, she's got guns. Like, as far as I know, there's only one depiction of Florence Nightingale within Fate, and that's as a berserker. I think she's a berserker. So, yeah, I wonder what you think of that depiction. But that goes for them all. There's a depiction of Da Vinci in it as the Mona Lisa, anime Mona Lisa. I wonder what would the real one think of it. I think I remember people arguing that Da Vinci in Fate was trans, but I've never actually tried FGL. I remember trying to get it before, but it wasn't available here or something. But the way the wiki told it made it sound it was more of a vanity thing. The Fate's depiction saw the Mona Lisa as the most beautiful thing, and that appealed to him. But what the wiki says can often be different to what the game says. Sometimes different, anyway. I've seen a lot of people editing and banjaxing wikis, so. Actually, here's a fun little bit of trivia. I should change it. There is a note on the Gargoyles wiki. There's in season 2 or 3 of Gargoyles, they run into a gargoyle that's the pieced together cyborg remains of like 3 different gargoyles pieced back together because they've been shattered and coupled with some robotic parts. In the writer's notes, they refer to it by a name not used within the show. Oh, actually, I could restart the video here, just so we have some backing music while I still talk. I'll just finish this point. So, actually, no, wait. The backing music wouldn't count. I'm not using any audio from here. Never mind. Just leave it at the end, so. But apparently, anyway, the writers used a name for that gargoyle that wasn't used in the show. But when Lexington is hacking it, if you actually stop and look at the code, you will actually see that writer's name for that gargoyle in the code. It's like Artello or something. It's in the code. It is actually used in the show. The wiki was wrong there. Woo woo. I do believe I may have actually referenced that. I referenced that in another video. Might have been a DDO video. Though that I do remember referencing gargoyles there. That could have been just, oh, I should go watch that show again. I think that was all that was in DDO. I'm not sure where I referenced the Artello thing. In another vid, like. I presume it's out at this point, but I don't remember where. Don't remember anything. I can only think of the DDO thing. Will be worth checking, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I do wonder like how Da Vinci would think of his depiction there, whether either claim about the character is true. Is it trans representation? Is it just a vanity thing? Wonder what Da Vinci would think of the character. Fate like what would Nobunaga Oda think of his depiction within Fate? The depictions of him within Fate. Tomboy girl, femdom in black letter, what would he think? I choose to believe he's a man of culture and would appreciate all of them, including Bikini Nobu. Do they have the Demon King Nobu in Bikini? It's missed opportunity if you don't. But I just believe he'd be a man of culture and would appreciate it. Same with anyone else, like what would Musashi think? As far as I know, he was a real person. I'm trying to remember characters' names and trying to remember which is a real person, but the brain waves aren't quite like linking up. But yeah, I've just. Oh shit, that was a movie I never did finish watching. Remember starting a movie a while back. This just suddenly came to me while I was trying to think. I started watching a movie a while back, but I was like, no, I'll finish this tomorrow with Mom. I think that was last Halloween. Not the Halloween just passed, but the one before it. Sweet. I don't remember much about it. Chick has a radio show. In comes a ghost ship. There's a drunk priest, I think. There's a haunting. I think he starts tearing at the wall and finds a book. The ship is empty. Like, it's just dead in the water. There's weird stuff going on. The radio chick, I think, shacks up with a guy that's just new in town, or maybe that was a different, like he's a drifter, or maybe that was a different girl. I don't know. It's all very muddled. Mom probably knows it. She was probably while I was watching it. She was like, "Oh, here's a good movie." It's a horror. She loves horrors. But yeah, I do wonder like what character people would think of characters, like their depictions in things like that. Was Stofflo a real person, or was he simply a mythological person? Like, as far as I know, when it comes to like Gilgamesh, there was a historical king Gilgamesh, but then a mythological version of Gilgamesh. That's where I remember hearing that. Most focus on the mythological version, though, I think. Or maybe that's because the most focus on the mythological version, because that's the only version that exists. I have no idea. The way I swear I heard it before was that there was a real version, but a cult sprung up around him and they wove their own tales about the dude. It's not unreasonable to assume that an incredibly powerful being with a incredibly powerful person with the right cult of personality going around them would start cults, have cults dedicated to them. It's not an impossibility. But anyway, I'm just rambling here. Footage has long since ran out. I like talking, so sue me. Please don't. I have no money. Um, but yes, I do like talking. I do like talking. If only I liked writing quite as much. I haven't done much writing of my novels in quite a while. I've been spitballing ideas here and there, but I haven't really done much writing. Part of my issue is just like, as I'm writing, I'm second guessing myself constantly. Like, is this fine? Is this right? Well, I can do multiple drafts. I keep feeling like I have to do it in the one draft. I can't just be like, yeah, this can serve for now as a basis and I can come back to it. It has to be perfect now. And it's this obsessive streak that I need to get over. But anyway, if you're curious about the novels I've wrote, or I'm trying to write, I haven't wrote anything yet. Like, completed. I'm not saying what details in the channel. I'm planning on writing it under a pen name, at least for the time being. I think I'll probably keep the pen name even if I admit, like, yes, it is I. But, it's just basically the idea is that if they turn out shit, I can just disassociate and be like, yeah, I'm still writing my books. Yeah, I haven't made any progress yet. I'm terribly slow. You know. Yeah. No, I should. I was gonna go with some real self-deprecation there, but I think I promised Mom I wouldn't. That'll give that up. But anyway, so, I was just like, if it did turn out really bad, I could just disassociate that way. It is just kind of a comfort thing. But, let's be honest here, I'll probably say what the books are at some point. But, it won't be till I'm actually feeling comfortable with them, basically. I feel like, you know what, I've done a fine job with these. These are okay. I can actually have them attached to me, you know? I suppose that goes against the whole... I suppose it doesn't really go against the whole thing before, but remember I was talking about my novels and saying that, yeah, people could write, fan versions, even make money if they can off them. I don't care. I suppose there may have to be restrictions or, clauses to it. I don't know the full legal gist of it. But as long as they made it clear, like, for me, personally, as long as they made it clear that it was their work, like, they may be yoinking stuff from me, but it was their work, I'm fine with it. There may be more legal clauses I have to acknowledge or whatever, so, that's not the be-all and end-all, the alpha and the omega. But as far as I personally go, I think I'm happy with that. I think. I'm really tired right now. I'm not on the road. But, yeah. I don't see a problem as long as they make it clear it's their thing. And, they may be borrowing stuff from me, doing their own version, but they take ownership of it. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I suppose me, disassociating from my work so far is kind of going against that idea, because it'd be hard for me to make that statement, because then there'll be a clue as to who I am, wouldn't it? And me making this statement here won't reach over to that, because I'm doing them under separate identities. Oh, well, that's a problem for future me. It's a problem for future me. I've already said it on my Twitter account anyway, so... But yeah, my one issue is people writing fanfic and putting it in my name. So many adaptions you see on TV are nothing but fanfic. Bastardizations of people's works. I've seen some fans angry about the American Gods adaptation, because there was a character... I've never looked at American Gods. I have no interest in it. But there was a character in it, African god. He didn't really, according to one person, he didn't really seem to even care about being worshipped. He was just happy, whoring around, doing it, having a good time. and then they make him this really angry, violent god. It's like, oh, don't mess with him, and it's just like there's this whole slave ship telling this where he twists, he gets the slaves to kill themselves in sacrifice to him and all this, and people are saying that's really out of character for the dude. That's not how he acts. There's worse examples apparently. There's worse examples out there. I'm just too tired to remember, but where the stuff is just basically fanfic, but the people don't have the nerve to do it in their own name. They instead pick up a license for the work, claiming, yes, we'll do an adaptation of your work, and then just turn in fanfic instead, in the original writer's name. That disgusts me. I have an issue with that. If you want to write fanfic, do it in your own name. You want to base it off my setting? Fine. Use my characters? Fine. If you want to have the main two characters of any of the work I'm doing just rotting in the starter village for the whole, 5 books you end up writing, fine. But make it clear it's your work. It's your child. You may have borrowed, the arms and legs of my kid, but it's your kid. It's your Frankenstein horror. That's my stance. If you're doing an adaptation, you do it fucking accurate. If you're doing fanfic, your own little fan story, I don't give a shit. As long as you take ownership of it. You make it clear that it may be my setting, it may be my characters, but it's your take, it's your rendition. I don't care after that. Part of me, say if you did end up making money, part of me is like, oh, money's nice, but it's yours. I've no right to it. It's just that inner little bit of greed, just like, hey. But no. You're the one who put the work into it. I know how hard it can be to write. Be distasteful. To be, turning up with, my hat here bumming for money, Distasteful being mild. Anyway, I'm just rabbiting on here. I've kind of hit a stride. The whole don't meet your maker. Fuck. No, don't meet your heroes thing. Once I got over that hump and I started having a joke and a laugh here, I've kind of just hit my stride and now I want to keep talking. But session's over. I'm gonna go get some sleep. I am fucking tired. Before I go, I might set these up to render out though. Because that way at least I can edit them, upload them tomorrow. And you can finally get a new episode. As far as I know, the next stuff isn't too bad to do up. I can probably start getting them going again properly then. Though I need to do that for shooters as well. My backlog of Outriders videos ran out a week or two ago at this point. Maybe a week ago. So I need to go catch up on that too. I suppose this has been on for longer, so I should probably focus on this, but in that case, my V Rising and War Tales series will take precedence. That's been gone even longer. Though that's kind of a tertiary series. I'm tired. I'm going to call this here. I do hope you've enjoyed these post-commentary videos, even if they have been a bit scattershot and weird. Like me having that whiskey. Well, I gotta be honest with you, I wasn't too bad. I was worse before I had the whiskey. I was weirdly grouchy before it. The whiskey mellowed me out. Actually, I think I drank whiskey twice during it. One time it turned in, it tastes like fucking hand sanitizer now. Kicked my fucking ass that night. Only a few sips and I was like, ugh. But yeah, I hope you've managed to enjoy these sets, even though they've been a bit scattershot and all over the place. I hope you have enjoyed them. It hasn't been all bad. I have had some fun making them. It's been nice just sitting here and shooting shit, If there's anything you want to comment on and you would like to say, please let me know in the comment section below. But do include a timestamp, as I have no fucking clue beyond a few highlights what I've said in these. Even some of this I've kind of blanked on and forgotten. Part of me's trying to remember now, but I feel I'll lose my train of thought now if I, actually commit to it. So, I sincerely hope you've enjoyed this. Like I said, if there's anything you want to let me know about, let me know in the comment section below, but include a timestamp. And, like, comment, subscribe. It does help the channel out. It also, and very importantly, makes me feel warm and fuzzy. So, yeah. Go do it. Go do it now. Till then, folks. Love and peace, baby.